Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Is my microphone working? Okay, great.
Thank you.
So thank you for everyone's interest. I'm really glad I was able to get this out in time and work with Jalen to do this is pretty much the first time I'm doing this, a public informational session. This is just to share updates on what's going on and a little bit of background of how it works. Again, my name's Chelsea Takahashi. I work for the Food Basket. We are the food bank for Hawaii Island. And even though our origins are based around Big Island, we did take on this statewide project to administer the BUX program. The BUX Double Up Food BUX is the full name. And yes, this is a statewide program that's offered for SNAP EBT cardholders. So let's move through who we are. You'll see the name Hawaii Good Food Alliance on a lot of our publications. They are a major partner and advisory group for the program. A lot of participating retailers are a part of Hawaii Good Food Alliance. The Food Basket is one of the founding members. We do look to them for a lot of partnerships and evaluation of our impacts, and they're kind of our ears on the ground to let us know how the program is running across the state. And then again, the Food Basket is the administrator of the program. We have about 6 staff, full-time staff on board right now. We just moved into this brand new space in Hilo. We added 4 phone lines so we can take on any customer calls to this program. So we are the staff administrating the program. And then last but not least, all of you on the call, our partners, are also an essential part of doing the outreach. HIPHI has been very critical in political advocacy, fundraising for us. And a lot of the funding does come from the community, from foundations, from medical, healthcare organizations, private donors. About half of it is community-based funding. And so there's 2 key relationships that define the program. This first relationship is between the SNAP customer and the food retailer. So the SNAP customer is issued a discount for our program. It's a universal 50% discount. If they go to a participating food retailer, they are offered a 50% discount on locally grown fruits and vegetables. And it's the food retailer's responsibility to select the items, to mark them, to do all the signage in the store to make sure that the customer can easily identify qualifying items. And that's the interaction where the SNAP customer benefits, and the food retailer can also benefit from those extra sales, because hopefully that encourages the customer to purchase more healthy fruits and vegetables. And then the second interaction that I also like to point out is this is where all the funding gets spent for our program. We've budgeted around something like 75% of program funds are going to this second relationship between the food retailer and the food basket. So at the end of the month, we receive invoices from the food retailers detailing all the discounts issued, the number of customers served. We get an invoice for that total discounts issued, and then the food basket is responsible for reimbursing the food retailer for their discounts. And this next slide explains the same concepts, but in a more concrete example. Maybe this is an easier way to understand. So again, in this example, a SNAP customer purchases $50 of locally grown fruits and vegetables at a participating retailer. That SNAP customer is responsible for 50% of the bill. So ideally, with most of the food retailers, they require that the full 50% is paid with food stamps or food benefits. So the SNAP customer is responsible for that $25. And then the other 25% or 50%, sorry, the other $25, which is 50%, is covered by the BUX program. The customer sees that as a discount. And so because the full purchase is covered, the revenue is, the retailer is still receiving that full $50 of revenue. I've been doing these presentations this week. I've been getting a lot of questions about the PEBT card, and I want to assure everyone that PEBT is a qualifying purchase on the BUX program. So they can use PEBT, the register just picks it up as another food stamp transaction. If they use PEBT benefits to purchase qualifying items, they are eligible for a BUX discount. And what I heard from Daphne at Department of Human Services is they're going to expire around May because they have about nine months to use their PEBT benefits. And actually what prompted this presentation is that we are going through a large, I guess, expansion of the program because we did receive new funding. That new funding is allowing us to remove our former discount limit. We used to have a discount limit of $20 per day, but as of September 1st, we removed that and it's unlimited. The customer can spend $100 on locally grown fruits and vegetables, and they only will need to pay $50 of that purchase. And then the other part of our expansion is that we're onboarding these new grocery stores. These were the only ones that I was able to onboard in time for our plan to do a mass promotion next week. So we have 4 food lands. These are select grocery stores in areas we're not currently serving, in areas with high SNAP populations. And that's how these retailers were selected. And we had to put them in our grant proposal to receive the funding. So these are pretty much set in stone. There's 4 again on Oahu food lands and 3 select food lands on Maui, and the 3 Malamo markets on the Big Island. And there's a single store on Molokai called the Family Market Center. I didn't mention Hana Farmers Market. Hana Farmers Market is also a new retailer being onboarded, and they're all live right now. So you could go to any of those retailers now and start to benefit from the BUX program. I mentioned the mailer that we're planning. It's been about a few months of planning to get this mailer completed, but it's happening finally next week, throughout the week, November 15th through the 19th. All SNAP households in the state are going to be receiving promotional material about the program. And these are all the retailers, including the ones from the previous slide. The top half are all the participating grocery stores. The bottom half are these more non-traditional food retailers. Often they offer, they're a little more accessible because they offer home deliveries, they do community pickup sites. A lot of times their produce is a lot more affordable because they're sourcing direct from the farm and there's not so much of that middleman transactions that they need to pay for. So we're really happy to have this statewide reach through all of these retailers. A big difference, programmatic difference between these 2 groups is that the grocery stores use the Access card. I know a lot of people are familiar with the Access card and see that as the program, but actually only the grocery stores are accepting this Access card. There is a barcode on the back of it that triggers a discount at checkout, and the grocery stores are the only ones with the POS systems to accept and to automate the process that way through their technology. The bottom half of our retailers, the other food retailers, don't have that type of POS capability, and a lot of it is manual. A lot of it is manual calculation. So they are not. You don't need to use the Access card at these retailers as long as the customer is paying with SNAP food dollars. the retailer knows that they're going to get a discount. Okay. And we just posted these on our website. These are our 2 main flyers that you can use for your outreach. This first general program flyer lists all the retailers by island. So if you're on the Big Island, you would use this Big Island flyer. It has all the retailers on the front page. And then the back page has instructions on how to use the access card at the grocery stores. And then, so a lot of people in that mailer next week, they will be receiving a copy of the access card. But I think a lot of you know, a lot of SNAP card holders weren't able to renew right away. So unfortunately, a lot of them are not getting the access card next week because they didn't reapply in time, or there's also this backlog at DHS. So they're not active, and they will not be getting the access card. For those people who still want one, and they will be getting their SNAP benefits soon, you can give them this second flyer, how to sign up for a BUX access card. There's 2 options. They can sign up online through our website, or they can go to a sign up location, and there's the locations on the back of the flyer. I also got questions in previous presentations about translations. This is a work in progress. There are translations on the website. It's just that we're not done translating the updated flyers with the new graphics, but everything posted on here is still relevant information that you can distribute. I think only the Spanish and the Hawaiian flyers are done. But we're still working with Pacific Gateway to get them translated. You can always go back to here and look at the website to see if your language is available. This is a cute little GIF, GIF. Our deputy director just designed. We posted it on our Facebook. Our Facebook is BUX Hawaii on Instagram and Facebook. So you feel free to share this with your on your social media platforms. Oh, I thought I deleted this one. We'll just skip over this. This is not so relevant to this group. And that is it. I just wanted to share, make sure that everyone was aware this is happening. You probably will be getting a lot of questions, or more questions from people who are eligible for SNAP or who are on SNAP. So I hope that you'll their questions now. So I'm Chelsea. I have Leland Park. He's my deputy director. TheBUX.org is our program website. And this number here is our program hotline. So that's open for everyone. Anyone, for any questions, you can reach me at this number or any of our staff at this phone number. So I really like when people talk. I have a hard time reading the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute.
Thanks, Chelsea. So I see Jessica has her hand up. I think she has a question.
Oh, okay.
Hi, sorry I don't have my video on, and I've got my toddler with me. And I sell local meat, all sourced from Hawaii, and I got the email for this presentation, and in the past I tried to apply and there was no more options for local meat. Are you guys, my main question is just, are you guys gonna be able to include that in this program, in this round? And if so, how do I need to reapply? I'm kind of probably missed a lot of the information since I last checked you guys out. Thank you.
No, you're correct. Like, this program is funded by a federal grant, and that grant is very strict about only incentivizing fruits and vegetables. The reason why we were able to do it last year for a few months is we received CARES funding. And so at that time, we paused the federal GusNet funding that says only fruits and vegetables. And then we started using the CARES money that had more flexibility. and that CARES money, it expired and we used it. We had a deadline to use it by the end of 2020. So that we don't have that type of money at this point, and I'm not aware of any other efforts that, or any other type of funder that would be willing to put in millions. Basically, we would need something like $500,000 again if we wanted to support that statewide at all of the retailers. That is, I mean, not to say that it won't happen. It's just it's going to take a lot of coordination and I think another set of staff to coordinate fundraising and adding that on to the BUX. Something I'm open to though.
Can I mention
it's gonna
too?
take some time.
Can I just mention one thing too? Waianae Coast Comprehensive, has had their double BUX program going, and they were able to write into their grant funding for local meat. And science wise, I mean, it's going to be important for people to get protein, but also it is healthier when it's like regenerative ag animals. But they successfully did that. So I just want to let you guys know, so that if you can pass on any of that information, that customers can go to the Waianae Farmers Market. I'm only there once a month on the second Saturday, but I believe they have another vendor as well. And they do eggs and local eggs and dairy included with their program. But okay, so I'll just keep, I guess, checking back with you guys because I don't sell veggies, but thanks for taking the time to answer that question.
Right. Yeah, we can definitely help to promote customers to go there to the farmers market and to check out Forage Hawaii. Yeah, Waianae Coast is a different beast. They have a lot of good relationships and funding sources. They're private. And usually their private donors they're a lot more flexible with them. Any other questions? Hope everyone.
Where can we get that animated GIF that you showed?
Yeah, I can share it with you. I think it would be easier. So if you just follow our page, it's like one of the top posts, and you can just reshare, and that makes it super easy to share on your. Is that Scott asking?
Yep.
Yeah, you can reshare to Hana Farmers Market page.
Okay.
That way, it's super.
Thank you.
That would be the easiest way to do it. Well, feel free to email me. Yep, my email's up there. It was meant to be a very short presentation. I don't want to keep you from eating lunch either. So.
Chelsea, is there anything you wanted to highlight on your website, thebux.org, that you want me to put in the chat for folks?
I really like everything on our website. We started a Keiki Corner page maybe about a month ago. So there's some Keiki resources on like tasting activities and recipes that they can do as a family. There's also a recipes page with some videos that we shot with families here on the Big Island. No, nothing particular. I think it's pretty easy to navigate. So if you just go to thebux.org, you'll be able to find what you're looking for, and whatever your particular interest is. We have a frequently asked questions page that's also helpful.
Thanks, Chelsea. And then I see a question in the chat from Lisa. So she asked, do you know how many participants take part in the program statewide?
Yeah, that's a really good question. This gets more into the weeds of administering a program, but it's hard to identify unique participants because what we have available is the last 4 digits of EBT cards. And when you only have 4 digits to go by, that means you only can track like the first 9,999 participants in that are on SNAP, and there's way more than that. So there's a lot of duplication with those numbers. We do have an effort or plans with Dr. Vanessa Buchtal. I don't know if she's on the call. We're working on a contract with her so that her and her students at UH Manoa can do some surveys among SNAP cardholders to see if they are participating and if they're aware. It's called our awareness and usage surveys. And through her surveys, we hope to get a better idea of how many SNAP beneficiaries are actually using the program statewide. But as of right now, we don't have a good idea. We do know 77% of SNAP households in the state are living within a participating retailer. So there's a lot of access. We need to find out how many of them are actually using it.
Thanks, Chelsea. I see another question in the chat regarding how if you're able to add new vendors, and I'm wondering if you know, if they're interested, you know, maybe the process of how they contact the food basket.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the money, even though it sounds like a lot, we did receive several $1 million. Our spending currently with the current retailers is already around, it's 120,000 a month was the average. And now we're removing the cap and we're doing unlimited. So now we're just kind of, we need to collect more data to see how long we can make our current funding last. And it's definitely we want the program to run continuously. And right now I'm projecting that it'll run out around early months of 2023. And so to more directly answer, I don't think we'll be able to onboard at this time new retailers. I can only onboard the ones that we propose in the grant proposal, which were those grocery stores. We're trying to get Hawaii Ulu Co-op to participate, but they're new to receiving SNAP, so they're just kind of figuring out their SNAP processes first. And the other one is Hawaii Eco Experiences. They need to get their SNAP authorization first before they can participate. Oh, and also we said in our grant proposal that we wanted to do a retailer in Kilauea, Kauai, specifically because we don't have a new retailer on Kauai right now. If you saw my presentation, we don't have any new grocery stores on Kauai, and Kilauea is a very specific area where there's a high SNAP population. So a lot of it has to do with just meeting our grant goals, which is to service rural areas that are underserved, and to areas where there isn't a current retailer.
Thanks, Chelsea. So, you know, in terms of like, you know, I know there's certain funding limitations, but from what I'm hearing from you, there is, you know, in terms of like, if you were able to get more funding, there is priority for Kilauea on Kauai. Are there any other locations that, you know, maybe are in high need that maybe, you know, if the opportunity arises that you're looking for partners?
I would say probably the North Oahu is not covered. And there's a lot of high SNAP population in North Oahu area. So we're glad about having two food lands there. There's going to be the Haleiwa food land and the Laie food land. But I think if we could expand the program as much as we could, like what our dream program would look like, we would definitely prioritize that area. North Oahu, I would say Kilauea and Kauai, in the Ko'u district on the Big Island. And I mean, just reach out to me. I do take into consideration the requests that come through and to see what is the need out there in the state. And unfortunately,
Chelsea?
it's just a conversation.
Chelsea, this is Bev Brody.
Hi.
I live in Kilauea. I can help. Let's move this forward. What has to be done?
I need a contact at It was Healthy Hut Kauai that I
Oh,
wanted to
good
onboard.
Lord, really? Okay, we call it Wealthy Hut.
Wealthy
You know,
Hut.
Wealthy Hut. That's what we call it here because that's what you have to be to shop there. So I'm just okay, but anyway, I don't want to take up people's time, but I'd love to set up a time to chat with you about that. Because I can definitely give you a contact for that place if you really want one. Is that the only place? What about the Kilauea Market? There's a Kilauea Market, which is part of Foodland.
Yeah, we were considering that also, but I got feedback that there's not too much local selection in that grocery store, and that does make a difference in our like decision on who to partner with.
Okay. Well, anyway, let me think about that. I had no idea that this. So yes, let's talk offline, Chelsea, because I'm on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bev. I was like, so, ask and you shall receive, Chelsea. Speaking of asking, so Lisa is asking, what can we do as community members and organizations and advocates to get more BUX funding? Because it seems like that's really the limiting factor. And I think from this call, we can see a lot of people are interested and, wanting to help expand it. So what can we do?
Yeah, this gets more into like the visioning, not in the what is tangible right now, but we decided with HIPHI in the obesity prevention task force that this year we wouldn't be pursuing any legislative asks because we felt like we don't want to irritate our legislators either coming back every year for asking for money. So we felt like this year we would take a break, build up the program, build up. My first annual report is my goal for to publish by, I think by February next year, build up the data. And then what other states are doing is they're going to their legislators and asking their legislature to make it a permanent funding allocation. I'm not an expert on where that funding is going to come from within the state government, but we did ask for money in the past. They said they would give us 100,000, and because of the pandemic, only 45,000 came through. So I think it's going to take some time, just like other states. I know Oregon just got a $4 million allocation from their government, from their state government. And that's only because they've been doing this for nearly a decade of providing incentives. And our program is fairly new. We just launched BUX in 2017, and that only started on the Big Island. And we only grew statewide in 2020. So we're fairly young, and it's going to take time to educate policymakers. I think just a bigger scope answer is, yeah, it's going to take time and political advocacy.
And then Chelsea, I hope you don't mind me answering too partially, but I really do think, like, if you're more of a provider who works with SNAP recipients, really getting the stories about how it's helping people. Because I think, you can look at numbers and locations, but it's really, how are these people using their benefits? How is it improving their lives? And, kind of getting that word out there as well, kind of telling the story. So we do have a few more questions in the chat. So from Jennifer, have you contacted or considered working with Pukalani Superette on Maui? They have a lot of local produce and are always very supportive of community-minded programs.
No, I haven't heard of them. So Pukalani Superette.
I'll send it to you after the meeting too, Chelsea, so you can all follow up. So Jennifer, did you want to elaborate maybe? Sorry.
Sure. I live close to them, and I know they are a very popular spot for upcountry Maui. They've been really active during the whole pandemic. They started this program called Upcountry Strong, where they got their vendors and stuff to donate food, and they're still doing food drives now, not as frequently, but they were doing them quite frequently, during the worst part of the pandemic. They're just a great, local store that's been around for a long time. They try really hard. They're really pushing local products, local produce, that kind of thing. And I just think they would be a great addition to the program for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I note everybody's recommendations in a spreadsheet. And I make sure that that we're aware, and if funding does come through, that we review everyone's recommendations. So
okay.
yeah, I wasn't aware of them, but thank you for letting us know. So they're
not small, they're not a huge store. I would say they are small but mighty. Yeah.
Pukalani, so that would be Upcountry Farmers. We currently work with Okoa Farms. And
Right.
so they sell out of that Upcountry Farmers Market there.
Right, yeah. So that,
Okay.
I mean, to me, it's a little bit different demographic, I guess. I go to both. I go to the Upcountry Farmers Market and buy produce from Ryan at Okoa Farms all the time. But Pukalani Superette really is like a local, a local favorite. So I just think it would, be able to reach a certain demographic that isn't like the farmers market shoppers, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, I agree. When you
And
have
they
a
oftentimes
diversity,
have better prices on produce than like Foodland too.
Yeah, it's like I got some contact information in the chat, Chelsea. So I'll pass it on to you as well. So, you can send it to me or Chelsea, and I'll compile it for her. Yeah, so seems like there's a lot of agreement in the chat. That's a popular shop. From Lisa. So she had two questions. More relating to the access card. So she was wondering, are you still looking for more locations for people to get the access card? And then, kind of along the same lines, like what kind of commitment does that require of the host organization?
I think at this stage, if we did sign you up, it would be, it would be nice, but I think you're probably not going to get a lot of requests for access cards because they're getting it mailed to them next week, and the Foodlands are making it available at their stores, as well as our KTA here on the Big Island. And that's what we experienced the last time we did this mailer. Is we tried to sign up people, nonprofits, to do the signups in person, but they only issued maybe 2 or 3 a month. And it's probably best to just, now you can send them to the Foodland or to the KTA or to the Malama markets, and they can sign up at the store.
Okay, perfect.
And we have quite a good coverage of the other nonprofit sign up sites.
Okay, and then also, like I saw on your website, you're able to request the card online too, right? So you don't need to go in person; it just gets mailed. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And then another thing I see in the chat, did you want to promote the book launch for your Kai and Hoku Explore Foods?
Sure. I'm afraid to reshare my screen because it's going to take too long, but we do have a book launch that it was happening. I don't even know the date. Do you have
it's on November 19th, and I believe it's from 12 to 12:30. So
yeah,
I will put the link or I'll put the information in the chat for everyone. Oh, actually, that's the link to the Keiki Corner. Let me look for the one for the Kai and Hoku, the registration.
Yeah, that's going to be led by Dr. Mingwei Ko and Tiana Kamen from Kauai. And they helped us author this book of how to teach your keiki how to taste and explore local fruits and vegetables. And the presentation will be something similar to this. It'll be very short. You can ask questions. They do have these big plans to do trainings on their own curriculum to get parents and early childcare providers a training curriculum to work with their kids. And then the end goal is to co-author with the trainees book 2 and book 3 next year. So there's not enough information to announce at this point, but we have this whole keiki nutrition campaign that we're working on.
Okay, well, thanks, Chelsea. That's exciting. So I put the information in the chat. I don't know if anyone has any last questions they want to ask, or Chelsea, if you have any closing thoughts before we end.
What was the P-EBT again? I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Chelsea.
What was the question?
What was the P-EBT again?
Oh, what is the program you're wanting to?
Oh, is that what that stands for? Program-EBT?
Oh, no. Okay, so PEBT is a pandemic EBT.
Oh,
and
okay, gotcha.
it's a card that gets loaded with benefits, with food benefits, and the funding source is also from the SNAP, is actually from the SNAP program. So that's why PEBT benefits, when they use that to purchase qualifying fruits and vegetables, it also is eligible for a discount.
Thank you. Thank you
The
so much.
register will look at it as a food stamps purchase when households swipe that card.
Got it. Mahalo.
Oh, and then I see Jordan put something about the PEBT program in the chat as well. So thank you, Jordan. Not seeing any other questions. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming, as well as Chelsea for sharing this information. As you can see, her contact information is on the slide, but there's also a wealth of information on their website, DABUX, DABUX.org. So with that, thank you, everyone. Have a great day.